The ocean stretched out before us, vast and unforgiving. Our fishing trawler, the Sea Maiden, cut through the waves with practiced ease. But something wasn't right. I could feel it in my bones. The air felt heavy, charged with an eerie stillness. Dark clouds loomed on the horizon, their ominous presence growing with each passing minute. The crew bustled about, securing loose items and double-checking equipment. We'd been through storms before, but this felt different, more menacing. The usually noisy deck fell silent as we all sensed the approaching danger. Even the seagulls that normally followed our vessel had disappeared, as if they knew what was coming. I've spent over 2 decades at sea, and I've learned to read its moods. This was no ordinary squall brewing. The barometer was dropping rapidly, a telltale sign of the impending tempest. We were too far out to make it back to port. Our only choice was to face whatever Mother Nature threw at us head on. As captain, I knew the weight of responsibility on my shoulders. 15 lives depended on my decisions in the coming hours. I called the crew together for a briefing. We went over emergency procedures and assigned roles. The tension was palpable, but I saw determination in their eyes. We were as ready as we could be. Now, all we could do was wait for the storm to hit. It started with a gust of wind that nearly knocked me off my feet. In mere seconds, the world around us transformed. The sky darkened to an inky black, broken only by flashes of lightning. Rain pelted down in sheets, stinging our faces and obscuring our vision. The Sea Maiden groaned under the assault, pitching violently in the churning waters. Waves rose like mountains around us, their peaks disappearing into the gloom above. One moment we were climbing a watery hill, the next we were plummeting into a valley of foam. The noise was deafening, a cacophony of howling wind, crashing waves, and the constant creaking of our straining vessel. It felt like being inside a giant washing machine set to destroy. I gripped the wheel with white knuckles, fighting to keep us pointed into the waves. One wrong turn and we'd be broadside at the mercy of these monstrous swells. The Sea Maiden was tough, but even she had her limits. I could feel her shuddering with each impact, like a prizefighter taking blow after punishing blow. The crew scrambled to secure anything that had come loose, risking life and limb on the slippery deck. A particularly massive wave crashed over the bow, sweeping one of my men off his feet. My heart stopped as I saw him slide towards the railing, but his safety harness held, and his crewmates quickly pulled him back. It was a stark reminder of how precarious our situation was. One mistake, one moment of bad luck, and we could lose someone to the hungry sea. Every member of the crew knew their role in this fight for survival. Our first mate, Mike, manned the radio, maintaining constant contact with the Coast Guard. His calm voice belied the gravity of our situation as he relayed our coordinates and condition. In the engine room, our chief engineer, Tom, worked tirelessly to keep our engines running. The constant pounding threatened to shake something loose at any moment. On deck, the rest of the crew battled to keep us afloat. They pumped water from the hold, checked for damage, and lashed down anything that could become a deadly projectile in the chaos. I saw fear in their eyes, but also a steely resolve. We were in this together, and together we would see it through. The intensity of the storm seemed to warp time itself. Minutes stretched into hours as we fought wave after punishing wave. Fatigue began to set in, muscles screaming from the constant effort of staying upright. But we couldn't afford to rest. One lapse in concentration could mean disaster for us all. Through it all, we maintained a constant stream of communication. Short, sharp orders punctuated by acknowledgments. In conditions like these, clear communication can mean the difference between life and death. Every so often I'd catch a crew member's eye, giving a nod of encouragement. We were bruised, battered, and soaked to the bone, but we were still in the fight. And as long as we were fighting, we had a chance. Section 4. Battling the elements, tools, and tactics. In the face of nature's fury, we relied on both age-old seamanship and modern technology. Our radar system, though struggling against the interference of the storm, gave us crucial information about our surroundings. We used it to avoid collision with other vessels caught in the tempest. Our GPS kept us aware of our position, ensuring we didn't drift into even more dangerous waters. But it was our weather routing software that proved invaluable. It analyzed real-time data, helping us navigate through the least violent parts of the storm. Following its guidance, we adjusted our course, seeking pockets of relative calm in the chaos. It was like threading a needle in a hurricane, but it gave us a fighting chance. Our ship's design was also key to our survival. The Sea Maiden's hull, reinforced to withstand the pressures of deep-sea fishing, now served as our armor against the battering waves. Her high bow helped us cut through the swells, while her stabilizers fought to keep us level. Every feature of her construction was now being put to the ultimate test. We deployed sea anchors to help steady the ship and prevent us from being pushed sideways by the wind. These large parachute-like devices dragged in the water, creating resistance and keeping our bow pointed into the waves. It was an old technique, but still effective in the age of high-tech gadgetry. Sometimes the old ways are the best ways when you're fighting for your life at sea. If you enjoyed this journey and want to see more, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our lens of life unframed. Help us grow our channel and stay tuned for more content. Thanks for subscribing, liking, and sharing. Section 5. Unbreakable Spirit, the Human Factor. As the hours wore on, I saw the true mettle of my crew shine through. Exhaustion etched lines on their faces, but determination burned in their eyes. We worked in seamless coordination, each person anticipating the needs of others. It was a ballet of survival, performed on the most unforgiving stage imaginable. Fear was our constant companion, but we didn't let it paralyze us. Instead, it sharpened our focus, heightened our senses. Every creak of the ship, every shift in the wind registered immediately. We were hyper-aware of our environment, reacting instinctively to each new threat. In moments of relative calm, I saw crew members checking on each other, offering words of encouragement or a steadying hand. The bonds forged in such extreme circumstances are unlike any other. We were more than colleagues now. We were brothers in arms, united against a common enemy. There were moments of levity too, brief flashes of humor that helped keep spirits up. A joke shouted over the howling wind, a shared laugh at the absurdity of our situation. These moments were precious, reminding us of our humanity in the face of nature's indifference. They gave us strength to push on when our bodies screamed for rest. Section 6. Weathering the Storm, Reflections on Survival. After what seemed like an eternity, the storm began to abate. The howling wind decreased to a dull roar, and the mountainous waves gradually subsided. Exhausted but elated, we realized we had made it through. The Sea Maiden, battered but unbroken, continued to bob defiantly on the waves. We had stared into the abyss and come out the other side. As the sun broke through the clouds, casting a golden glow over the turbulent sea, a sense of awe settled over the crew. We had witnessed the raw power of nature and lived to tell the tale. The experience had changed us, individually and as a team. We had been tested to our limits and beyond, and we had not been found wanting. In the aftermath, as we took stock of our situation and began repairs, I reflected on what had brought us through. It wasn't just our technology or our ship, impressive as they were. It was the human spirit, the unwavering resolve, the teamwork, the ability to adapt and persevere in the face of overwhelming odds. These were the true heroes of our survival story. As we limped back to port, I knew that none of us would ever forget this experience. It had reminded us of our own fragility, but also of our incredible resilience. The sea had thrown its worst at us, and we had weathered the storm. We returned not just as survivors, but as stronger, more unified crew. And as for me, I felt a renewed respect for the ocean, its beauty, its power, and its unforgiving nature. This is the reality of life at sea, a constant dance with danger that we willingly embrace for the love of the ocean.